Hi, everyone. So we are finishing up our last book, Tender of the Bone by Ruth Reichel. We have a great interview with the author in lieu of a lecture this week, and there she talks about food. Who wouldn't want to love to read about that or hear about it? She talks about food and why she has such strong memories connected to food. She talks about food and culture, about food and family. And I think that you can see a lot of that in the second half of this book. Part of this is kind of a travel log as well. A travel memoir is usually told with stories connected to different places that the woman or the author has traveled to. Here, she's traveling to different states. She's going to college, and eventually she's going overseas and things like that as well. So it's interesting to see how her experiences connect to food and how food connects to memory, which is a lot of what memoir writing is about, right? We've talked about the way that memory works kind of throughout this course. So, nothing I don't think that I can remember too dark in this second half of this book. Really, it's just a story about how Ruth Reichel became one of the best known food critics in the United States. She eventually, in some of her other memoirs, talks about becoming the premier critic for the Los Angeles Times. One of her other ones talks about moving to New York City and becoming the critic for the New York Times. Another one of her memoirs talks about how she became the editor of Food and Wine magazine, and then what happened to her after that magazine collapsed, and kind of the digital culture that came up where magazines really aren't as popular anymore, and how she kind of returned to the idea of home cooking and connecting with the family memories that she talks about in this memoir. So if you enjoy this book, there are a lot of other books that she's written about different points in her life, and again, looking at food and travel and all of that. But this, I think, is kind of a coming of age story, and you'll see also how she overcomes some of the issues in her family to create a family of her own. So I hope you enjoy the book, and that is it for this week. Thanks.